What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, it's going to be a New Gear Tuesday. I don't even know if that's a thing, but it's going to be a thing today. You see, I just got my new Universal Audio aux box and the aux amp, and today I'm going to take you through it. And this is such a game changer. Technology, I know on this channel a lot I talk about like the balance between doing things old school and using amps and vintage amp heads and not really doing everything in the box, but the whole hybrid aspect of recording and making music and getting to leverage technology in the best possible ways and getting to leverage all of the kind of old school tried and true methods of doing things in the best kind of ways and coming out somewhere in the middle. So the aux box, well, as if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that my main tracking rig that I use to get basic tracks, I'm using that Shure Badger 18 underneath that aux box over there. And it's going into my Rivera Silent Sister isolation cab that's back in another bedroom in my house. And that is loaded with a Celestion 75 watt Creamback, and it's mic'd up with the SM57, a Shure SM57. And it has served me incredibly well. I love it. It's so consistent. It's so easy to get up and running. And I just have a little pedal board that I keep over there plugged into it and get great basic tracks. Keeps my workflow just steadily moving. And I'm getting ready to start tracking guitars on a couple of projects that I'm working on. And it got me thinking, I love that, but that's not the only one sound that I want to get while tracking guitars. And especially both of these projects are kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum musically from each other. And so having some versatility is going to be key. And I could certainly, I've got a bunch of cabs and a bunch of amps. I could certainly mic up cabs, and I'm definitely going to do some of that. But when you're working in here on your own and you are the engineer and the producer and the musician and the songwriter and all the hats that you're wearing, got a hat on today, it can be really challenging to get momentum going if you're having to stop and go back to a bedroom in your house and nudge a microphone a little to the left, a little to the right, finding the sweet spot, coming back in here, trying something new, taking a little take. Does it sound different? I'm not sure if it sounds different. It's a little bassier. Okay, well, maybe a little bit more to the right, a little bit. Drive yourself crazy doing that. So leveraging that technology, having the aux is going to be a game changer for me. I've got it set up already. I've saved a few presets. And so let's just talk about what the aux is. And before I get started here, before I start talking about what the aux is, I want to talk about just the analytics on this channel shows that a lot of you guys here watching, most of you people who watch these videos, you people, you know who you are, you're not subscribed to the channel. And that definitely helps the channel out. It helps me grow these videos, helps get traction on the videos. Every time you engage with one of these videos, it helps tremendously. So I want to ask you guys, if this isn't your first video that you've watched, if you like watching my videos and you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button, turn your notifications on so you get reminded when the videos come out. Drop me a comment, let me know what your whole story is. Are you a musician? Are you a songwriter? Are you building a studio now? Are you thinking about getting an aux box? What brought you to this channel? And where are you in the world? Love connecting with you guys. And if you like this video, hit the like button. Like I said, all of that engagement really helps build this channel and get more eyeballs on these videos, which enables me to make more videos just like this one and keep this community building and growing as it has so far. So thank you in advance. Now back to the aux box. So for me, thinking about that, wanting to get to a point where I can start tracking guitars and really getting a lot done in a day, having the aux box makes a lot of sense. For those of you who are new to the aux box, there's a lot of videos out there on the aux box. I couldn't even tell you how many. It's been out for a minute. It's not a brand new piece of tech, but it is brilliant. It's amazing. So what the aux is, it's a power attenuator for one. So what that means is if you have a 100-watt amp, you can plug your amp into the back of the aux and then plug your cab into the back of the aux. And you can turn that amp up to 100 watts, and then you can take the output knob on the aux box and just dial it back however much or little as you want, and you can attenuate how much volume comes out of the amp. And that's just one of the things it does. And that's probably not what it's most known for, but it does have a good gigging live application. What it's most known for is all of its cabinet simulations that it has built into it with different microphone simulations of all the kind of legendary mics that you mic guitar cabs up, all the legendary guitar cabs that you would want that are kind of must-have guitar cabs, and you can adjust everything. The biggest difference between it and a lot of its competition out there is that it also has a room mic level in there that you can blend in to make it sound very, very authentic and real. In addition to that, you also have built-in like plugins built into the app and into the aux itself. So you have an 1176 limiter built into it. You have a delay built into it, a reverb built into it, a master EQ built into it, as well as an EQ for each one of the 3 channels. So you have 2 mics, and then two close mics, and then a room mic that you can blend and save those presets, and then you can assign them as you want when you're recording. In addition, on the front of the aux itself, it has a room knob where you can blend in the amount of the room sound that you want for when you're tracking, say, solos, and you want it to have a very kind of specific sound, have a bigger kind of standout sound. To blend those room sounds in is just unbelievable. So we'll take a look at the app. We'll take a look at some of the amps. I've got a couple of my heads up here. So I've got the Suhr Badger 18 that I'm always using when I'm tracking guitars up here. But I also brought my Marshall. I've got a 100 watt 75 Mark II Master Volume Marshall. It's been modded out. It's got EL34s in there. It's a pretty red hot rocket. I mean, it's a one trick pony, but it is an insanely good trick. Then I've got my 72 Hiwatt Custom 50. So they're back behind the desk, and we are going to start tracking some rock guitars here very, very soon. So I'm pumped to put this aux box through its paces, and let's go take a look at it. I've got the aux box hooked up to the Suhr Badger 18. We're just going to kind of run through some things and talk about what's so great about this thing. So if you get one of these, the first thing that you're going to want to do is download the aux amp software from Universal Audio. And they have one for Windows, they have one for Macs, and they have one for iPads. So I've got one downloaded to my iPad, as well as I have it downloaded to my Mac. As you can see, let's go through this app for this. All right, so up at the top left, you have a list of you can save favorite configurations. You can build out custom user presets. You can see I've got 3 set here, and then you got the factory settings, which there is a ton of stuff here. So you can see, just scrolling down, you've got all different kinds of speaker cab combinations, as well as combos with all the different mic combinations, and there is a ton of stuff in here, so I'm not going to go through all of it, but you should go through all of it if you are getting one of these. All right, so that's the first one. We'll click done there. You can see I've got it set on one of my presets, and as you see on the unit, there are a few knobs. So you have the rig, so you can save 6 custom rig presets. They've got some already stored in there that are going to come with it when you buy it. You can also dial up how much of the room sound you want in there. You can do that directly from the unit, and you can also do it inside of the app. And then on the other side of it, you got the speaker volume, line out volume. That is going to determine how much output you're getting out of the amp, and that's coming out of the outs on the back. Then you also have a headphone input jack, and you have a headphone volume on there. On the back, you've got the in for the amp. In the red, you have the out that goes to your speaker, and then you're going to have 2 balanced outs that can go to either PA speakers, or it can go in. I have mine a left mono out going into my patch bay, so loaded into the Universal Audio console. And then there's also SPDIF and optical inputs on the back too, if you want to run that directly into your interface. But going through the app, so you've got that, you've got your rig, and then you can assign, again, you can build these out, and you can assign to one of these 6 presets that you can just dial in from the actual aux amp. And then you can go to your settings and you can adjust how things are set up in your aux. And then you go back to the rigs. And then you'll see for each one of these, you got your cabinets. So you can just scroll all the cabinets that you have. There's a bunch of them on here. And find which ones are going to work best for you. And then you can go in here, and once you choose the cabinet, you can choose the input level, either 50 watts or 100 watts. And you can adjust the amount of speaker drive that you want for each one of those. It's very, very cool. And then once you get that set up, we'll just take a look at how this is set. So you have 2 close mics on here, and you can adjust which microphones that you want. So you can do a direct signal. You can do a 414, which is, obviously an AKG 414, or a condenser 67. That would be a Neumann U67. A Ribbon 160 is going to be just a ribbon mic. I guess that's a Royer 160. And, or no, it's not a Royer. I don't know who makes the 160. I don't know everything, contrary to popular opinion. The Royer 121, love this mic, sounds great. I use this a lot. And then you got a Sennheiser 421 mod, and then the Shure SM7. All right. So, got the ribbon on one, and then I'm going to go 414 on the other. I've got the high pass filter on, so we're shaving off the low end. You can change how you have these mics set up. You can do off axis or direct. I have it set there. I've got the Royer on the other, so you got the 414 and the Royer 121 on here. And then the room mic, I've got it set to stereo condenser, and you can set it mono. You can set it with some ribbons. There you've got options here. Very, very cool. Got a damp setting and then a normal setting. If you take the damp setting, it's going to put a rug underneath the amp. And you've got your master. And on your master, you have an EQ. You have graphic or parametric. You got the old 1176. It does have some presets built into it. You can use those if you want. I'm not using that right now. It's got a delay built into it. You can use that if you want. Again, I don't really like to... I monitor in UAD console with some verb usually on guitar, if it calls for verb, if it's not like some dry rockin' stuff. But if you want to, you can certainly experiment with those. If you're just practicing to play in, which is what another great use of an aux is, just to be able to plug your headphones in it and practice without, waking your whole family up if you're at the house. And then you got plate reverb. You can add to any of those. All right. So for each one of those, you also have an EQ for every channel, which is very, very cool. And you could it's just so customizable. I think that's the best thing about the whole deal, aside from it just sounding amazing. And we're going to take a listen to it now. All right, so we'll go straight through it. So you've got... As I was mentioning earlier, you can get these kind of digital fragments if you have your input gain a little too loud. And I want to jack this up so you can hear what I'm talking about. You hear that? I don't know about you, but that's not the kind of sizzle I like in my recordings. So, keep it down under 12 dB. Negative 12, rather. So that's with the room mic on. Let's mute that and see what that sounds like. So no verb. If you wanted to put some verb on this, just to show you guys what it sounds like. It's pretty lush. It's big too. And I've got it turned down just barely in. But you can make it real big. So I think the factory setting is somewhere around here. And just a heads up on how I have this amp set up. So I'm juicing it pretty decently with gain. I'm going to roll off of it just to show you guys how this thing cleans up. And this amp has two EL84s in it. It's got two 12AX7 preamp tubes. It's a great sounding amp. But the cool thing is you can set this thing where you get it squeaky clean and just raise the master, obviously. And we also have the luxury of raising the input level on console. So you can hear that. So again, just be sure that you are bringing down your master when you start hearing that to let's bring the room back in. So we've heard the Telecaster. We know what it sounds like through the aux and sort of the, the different options that you have, the kind of color palettes. I thought it might be helpful to put some humbuckers through it. Got the Les Paul, old Goldilocks. And you can hear that's got the room in it. If we want to mute the room so we can just hear what the guitar sounds like, we'll put it in the middle. This is typically how I would run it. I run the neck pickup volume somewhere around 6.5, bridge volume around 7.5, and in the middle it sounds something like this. This highway to AC is they've got things panned. So you've got the 67 is panned hard right. You've got the other ribbon is panned just barely right, and then the room is dead up the middle. Let's go to another preset on here. Warm Jazz. Let's see what we get out of Warm Jazz. I'm curious to see what kind of cab they're rocking with Warm Jazz. Yeah. Okay. You got a ribbon and a condenser, and then a mono ribbon room. And we'll put just see what we get. Go to neck pickup. I think you guys get the drift. I think y'all, each one of you guys watching this who's on the fence has been wanting an aux box, but you're like, dude, I just don't know if I can afford it. Maybe you're not sure if you deserve it. And I'm here to tell you that you deserve it. By God, you're a good, fine fella, gender neutral. Go out and treat yourself. Make your music better. Invest in yourself. Double down. Chase your dreams. You got this. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on so you get notified when the videos come out. And if you dig the video, hit the like button and drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought about the video. Let me know if you have any tips on the aux box about maybe some ways you're using yours that isn't necessarily covered everywhere. I'm here for the tips. I'm here to offer some tips. Until next time, I'm Justin Brogdon. You guys keep being kind to each other, keep doubling down, and we will be seeing you very, very, very soon.